Are medical school loans like predatory loans? Sort of like payday loans, short-term loans? Sometimes the only way to get people's attention is to go after their money. Yes, your money. Just imagine if all of the nation's student loan debt went into default. In 2017, the total U.S. student loan debt reached $1.45 trillion. That total exceeds total U.S. credit debt by $425 billion. Just imagine if all 50,000 unmatched doctor graduates over the last 5 years declared bankruptcy and their student loans went into default. The average medical school debt is currently $183,000, but some of the unmatched doctors I have heard from have debts of $350,000, $400,000, and more. That is a lot of student debt coming out of our tax dollars in the event of a default. Because our nation has broken its social contract with unmatched doctor graduates, they cannot obtain the work necessary to repay millions of dollars in student loans. They cannot obtain a license to practice medicine in the U.S. without a required U.S. medical residency. This residency shortage began when the Balanced Budget Act of 1997 capped the number of funded residency slots. Now, the number of fully qualified medical graduates exceeds the number of residency slots available. Without a residency, these unmatched doctors cannot practice medicine. Currently, I'm asking a lawyer in my city to consider the feasibility of a class action lawsuit against the federal government on behalf of the unmatched doctor graduates. Although I'm not a lawyer, here's how my thinking goes. The U.S. Division of Medical Education has created a list of requirements for medical licensure in the U.S. At the same time, another division of the U.S. government, Health/Medicare, has cut the spending necessary to complete the final step required to obtain a medical license, namely completion of a U.S. medical residency. 2 U.S. departments are working in opposition to one another. This is to the detriment of its citizens, who have followed a prescribed regimen of study, only to reach a dead end when it comes to completing the last requirement for licensure. Would this be considered bait and switch? You get the idea. Recently, an LA Times editorial talked about predatory loans. It defined predatory lending as loans with, quote, no way to repay their original loans other than to obtain further ones, end quote. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will require payday and auto title lenders to, quote, to do the sort of thing banks and credit unions already do. Before extending a loan, they'll have to determine whether the borrower can repay it. The last sentence of the editorial says, quote, the issue here isn't access to credit. It's protection from predatory lending, end quote. If a medical graduate cannot repay student debt because of a government whose right hand does not know what the left hand is doing, I would accuse the U.S. government of predatory lending. Thank you. Please share this blog with your colleagues and legislators.